All right, well, today was a fun day, fun game to be a part of. We had an opportunity to be here at Audi Stadium, which we take great pride in playing here. I thought both teams came out and did really well. Houston did some good things. They got an interception for a touchdown after we had gotten a turnover to get in good field position. So offensively, obviously, you got to take care of that, not allow that to happen. But I'm really proud of our team. They stayed in the fight. Our coaches continue to prepare them and allowed us to, get the win at the end. So happy with that.
Coach, you guys almost doubled your rushing yards from last week. How important was getting the run game for you guys?
Yeah, we are a team that really want to run the game, run the ball. As you looked last year, with AB being our leading rusher, led the league in rushing. But when we look back at our first week game from last year, we had rushed almost the same amount of yards that we rushed in the first game. So this is improvement. Obviously, Hagens and Cam, both guys, did some stuff today along with Tamu running the ball. So it's extremely important for us to be able to run the ball. We don't want the defensive line, the defensive end guys, just to pin their ears back and be able to rush the passer. So it was good to be able to run it. And this team, defensive line-wise, they're stout, right? There's some big guys inside, and there's some times they stopped us from running it, right? They, almost discouraged us from running it, but we continue to do that and was able to get some rushing yards.
How did it feel being back in front of these fans? Your state.
This is an amazing place. It really is. I'm humbled by it every time we get a chance to come back here. The fans were extremely loud, and defensively, when we talk to our defense, we talk about if we're not playing up enough where our fans cause at least 2 offside penalties, then we're not doing our job. And here at the end of the game, there's a good bit of them. So our fans came, they showed out, they were loud, and I know today there's a lot of options, right? The Nationals was playing, we were playing, I think there was a hockey game or something going on. So, DC, that's where it's at, right? And, just a lot going on. So we're thankful that our fans came out today.
Congratulations on the win, Coach. Today, red zone, you were 3 for 4. Just talk about your thoughts on your red zone offense today.
Yeah, it was much better than last week. Obviously, we kicked a lot of field goals last week. Just didn't feel the momentum of going for it on 4th down. But today, the guys kind of removed that from me where we were able to score touchdowns down there, and that's what you want, right? Last week we had 4 field goals, right? And points are points, and it's good to get them, but you'd rather have touchdowns than field goals. So that's a good number for us. Coming from 0 and 4, I think last week in the red zone, 0 and 3 in the red zone. So that's encouraging, and that's definitely something to build on.
Coach, so it was up. You were down 3 at the time. It was 4th and 7 from the 39. What made you go for it with the tight end screen instead of kicking the field goal at the time?
Yeah, so the field goal would have been 58 yards. In pregame, we go out, and at that end of the end zone, he would have been good for 53 yards just because of wind. Now, the other end, where the locker rooms are, we had talked in pregame, and he had made them from 57. So 58 is it's a distance away from what we had discussed. So just wasn't comfortable with that. And I typically let Coach Keiss know on 3rd down. If we feel like we're going to go for a 4th down, I'll say, hey, have a 4th down play. Not typically 4th and 7, but it's usually 4th and short. But today, he dialed up a really good one. My man Alex went and made a really good play and made up for some errors or so early on. But that was the thinking behind it.
Coach, you told me after the win, not at Audi Field.
Yeah.
So how do you feel knowing that at home the guys are gonna fight and claw and pretty much handle business? Is that kind of like it's automatic, continuing the win streak
Right.
from last year?
Yeah, I think so. And they recognize it, right? They talk about it, and it's not about we never lose in Aldi. It's we win in Aldi, and that's the approach and that's the mindset, and that has a lot to do with our fans. It has a lot to do with the game day atmosphere. It has to do with us being extremely comfortable in this stadium. So definitely want to keep that going. We're proud of the guys where they stayed in the fight today and was able to get the victory. But this is a special place, and dating back before the UFL or the XFL or last year, those guys still was undefeated at home. So got to keep it going.
All right, thank you.
I have one
Can I have
more.
one more? Can I have one more?
Oh, go ahead.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
In the fourth quarter, DC's offense scored 11 points while the defense held Houston to 0 points. What was the shift towards the end of the game that allowed production on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think early on offensively, we were just, it'd be 10 guys on the same page and then one guy not on the same page, which caused us to, not get a positive play. So once we came in the locker room and talked about it at halftime, talked about we had to run the ball, we had to be able to run the ball so we can get some of our passes. So we were able to do that. And then defensively, we felt good about our defense putting a good pass rush on them. I mean, they did a good job of getting the ball out, but we bent a little bit but didn't break. We put them in some stressful situations. Was able to make them throw the ball in front of us and on 3rd and long, and was able to come up and make the tackle. So Greg Williams, our defensive coordinator, and our defensive coaches, they do a good job. And guys make big plays. I mean, how about that play Baker made, number 25? And we talk about effort plays, and we're talking about would you be proud of your teammate? And you show a play, and for that guy not to give up. Last week we had one with Harmon tackling the guy like on the 5-yard line. So I mean, those are huge plays, and defensively, offensively, guys stepped up, and we're proud of them for that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to address the penalty. So last week you guys had 9 for 66 yards. This week 4 for 23. How did you address that leading up to this week?
Well, we talked about it a good bunch. Like, we're not a team that's going to have 9 penalties and hurt ourselves like that. And last week caution personal fouls and that type of thing. So we talked about that. We talked to the coordinators about it, the assistant coaches. They do a good job of Paul Revere and that message to our team, like, hey, we don't want to commit penalties. We want to be, this game is hard enough to compete against good teams. And if you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball, behind the sticks and getting off schedule, then you're gonna have a hard time. So they did a good job of not causing a bunch of penalties today.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Thank y'all. All right,
Congrats.
thanks.